Hello and welcome to the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark. I am your host. And in today's episode, I want to talk about remodeler marketing. So if you are a kitchen remodeler, a bathroom remodeler, a whole house remodeler, if you do appliance installations, or if you're in one of the trades kind of closely related to that, then this video is for you. Now, we're going to go over some interesting stuff here. I'm excited to show you some stuff that I've got. I've got a checklist I want to show you. It's actually free on our website. Um, and our website is rocketscience.com. It's ROKKET, rocketscience.com. And you can find this checklist at go.rocketscience.com/checklist. And I'll show you how to get there here in a minute. But I want to talk about first what I see out in the marketplace, because I talk with contractors every day, remodelers. And, we spend a lot of time talking with remodelers, going over their websites, helping figure out how they can grow. We spend a lot of time with folks on this podcast that you may have heard. I'd love if you would subscribe to the podcast so you can hear more of that, put a lot of love and work into that. But we talk with remodelers every day. And what I have seen, I've really kind of racked my brain to understand why all across the field of remodeling, kitchen, bathroom remodeling contractors, I've seen that they really struggle with their online marketing. And I would dare say more so even than in some other fields. I mean, we've talked in the past, we've worked with CPAs and accountants, we've worked with software companies, e-commerce. I mean, we've kind of done the whole gamut of, this digital marketing thing. And we've now are working exclusively with remodeling, kitchen and bath remodelers. But I've really wondered, why is it that contractors seem to struggle with this online marketing piece? And I mean, it makes sense to me, right? You probably got into this field because you love to be outside, because you love to go build and work with your hands. And, online website, web traffic, Google ads, all that stuff is the last thing that you want to think about. And I totally get it. I used to be a remodeler myself. I've actually built many houses, did more additions than that. All kinds of remodeling projects, restorations back in Oregon where I used to live. And so when I was in that space and when I was, remodeling houses, I mean, this was a long time ago now, but really kind of before the internet. But I mean, computers were the last thing that I wanted to think about, right? I was kind of rebelled against them. I hated the idea of sitting in a computer and dealing with learning how to get, online rankings or to set up, Google ads or to create a YouTube video. That stuff would drive me crazy. And I had about, sort of 7, 8 years kind of in the trades, pretty heavy. Had a few other careers between then and now. But actually what I found is that this marketing sort of industry that I'm in, I love it because we're able to add, kind of rocket fuel to an already great company. We say that we don't make the company great. They're already great. We just add fuel to what they're doing. And so we got into this about 6, 7 years ago and have worked, like I said, with all different kinds of companies, but we've moved now towards working specifically with remodelers. And this is why I think that they don't really have this handled. I think that it's not a priority. It's not why they got into this in the first place. It's also not an adjacent field to kind of marketing. So like even a CPA that spends a lot of time on their computer or a software company, they're just going to be kind of in the same ethos as, that digital marketing space and getting their website, really perfect. And they don't seem to struggle with it as much. I'll tell you that when I go out when we do podcasts, when we, talk with companies, it's really no exaggeration to say that less than 10% of contractors have this handled. They understand what it is. They understand why it's important. I talked with, a podcast guest earlier this week. He's been doing TV for years. Okay. I mean, I've done a lot of TV way back in the day. Problem with TV, radio, print, yellow pages ads is that you can't track those things. And because you can't track them, you can't tell what's working. When you go out and get a TV spot for your contracting business, They just say, what's the budget you have? And you may say $3,500 a month. And they'll say, okay, you know, that's the that seems to be the perfect amount that we have available over here. It's always the right amount, right? If it's $2,000 or $10,000, that's exactly what the slots are that they have available. Well, then they run those ads, and sure, you're going to get some calls, but you can't track that in any way. And part of the beauty of online marketing these days is that it can be tracked. So, if you want to compete here in the 21st century, with with your remodeling business with other folks in town who some of them definitely do understand this, you're really going to have to get this kind of handled. You're going to have to understand how this works. And so I'm here today to tell you, really just kind of about the ecosystem of digital marketing. And I've got a checklist that, again, you can download from our site at rocketscience.com. It's go.rocketscience.com/checklist. And actually, let me just open up my screen and show that to you right now. So let's see here. If we go right over here to our website, again, ROKKET, rocketscience.com. And you want to scroll down to the very bottom, down to this tab called resources. You click to that, you're going to go to this link here. And here's where you can download this free marketing checklist, right? So just click this download button, put in a little bit of information, and you're going to be able to download exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so let's see here. Let me kind of get set up a little bit. Pardon me. All right, so let me also open up my screen and just kind of show you, let's see what we have got. All right, let's see. I'm going to head over here and grab this. Sorry, guys. I'm not quite as organized as I had hoped. Scroll down here to this. All right. So let's see. I'm going to share this tab with you. All right. So you can see here, this is the ultimate checklist, ultimate internet marketing checklist for bathroom and kitchen remodelers. And so I'm just going to go down through this. I'm going to show you, I'm going to kind of talk about the various elements of this. Now, this doesn't really include or encapsulate the whole sort of internet marketing kind of space. This is, there we go. This is going to be just really kind of a snippet of it, or sort of a, just really a checklist of really kind of an overview. But if you download this checklist and you go through this yourself with your team, I can tell you that you are going to be really 80% of the way to having this completely handled. I mean, you're going to have a huge, huge leg up on your competition. And ultimately, what I really want for you is to be a successful, mid seven figure, high seven figure, $8-9 million, $10 million contractor and beyond. I'd love for you to have the opportunity down the road to have an exit where you are able to sell the business for a multiple of 2 to 4 times the profit. And so to do that, though, I can tell you, we've also been a part of a number of acquisitions. For you to be acquired, for you to sell your company, you're definitely going to need to have this handled. Okay, a new buyer of your company is not going to want to come in and get a job. Okay, if you sell to a private equity firm, they want to see that you got long-term contracts, that you have got your systems completely dialed in, that the growth is predictable for your company. They don't want to dump $3 million into a company and then find that all the clients leave and that you ultimately didn't have a system for getting new clientele. The first thing they're going to ask you is how you grow the business. And so that's what we're here talking about today. Okay, so over here at the ultimate internet marketing checklist for bathroom kitchen remodelers, let's just go down through this list. So the first thing is your website optimized for conversion? Okay. Do you have the phone number in the top right-hand corner? Are you using authentic images, videos, photos of the owner, right? Your trucks, photos of your team. This is absolutely critical. We had a photo shoot happen yesterday with an amazing contractor that is based out of San Francisco, does incredible, beautiful work. But he didn't have any photos on his site of his team. Um, I think, none at all. Maybe there was one photo over there. Well, that's not really what people are looking for. When people are looking at your website, they want to see the team. They want to see original photos. They don't want to see stock photos. Okay, we all just have like stock photo like blindness. And so if any of the photos that are on your site right now are not taken by you or taken by somebody on your team, you got to get them out of there. All right. It's not that hard to have your team go take photos of the work that they're doing as they're doing them. It's very inexpensive to have a photographer come out and do a professional photo shoot of you, the team, and the job sites that you're doing. Okay, next, do you have a compelling call to action after every block of text? Okay, that call to action is going to be like book a quote, right? And it's easy to just have a phone number. We really want to have a way for someone to book a quote without calling you. Okay, of course, you want people calling into the office, and that's typically how you're going to build quotes. But I'll tell you that these days, a lot more folks want to kind of book with you without doing it over the phone. So it's useful for you to have a call to action, which maybe it's got some automation behind it. They can just kind of book into your calendar or book into your, quote person, your dispatcher who's going to go out and do quotes. Um, it can be helpful to have that automation set up because you're going to have more people get in touch with you that way. Let's see. Are you giving customers the option to engage via chat or two-way text? Okay, so this is what I was just talking about. If you don't have a way for people to get in touch with you on the site that's not calling, you're definitely leaving money on the table. And let's see, is your website mobile friendly with an easy click to call button? More and more these days, I see most contractors have got their website set up mobile optimized. We look at analytics every day. It's hard to believe, and as me as a web designer and someone that designs certainly on a desktop, I hate it. The fact is that most of your customers are finding your site on their phone. That's all there is to it. I can open up my computer right now and show you with every client that we have, the majority of traffic, like 65, 70, 75%, is coming from phones. And so that thing has got to be set up perfectly, right? It needs to load fast. It needs to have all the same images on there, look nice. If that's broken, absolutely critical that gets fixed. And then is your website fast loading on desktop and mobile? There's some great ways to go test this. There's a tool called GT Metrics, where you can go to gtmetrics.com. You can put in your website, and it will give you just it'll run a free test of kind of the health score of your website and how fast it loads. How fast your website loads is a ranking factor for Google. It's also a ranking factor really for your ads as well. If you're running Google ads, you're going to be penalized if you have a slow loading site. So we want to get that taken care of. Is your website optimized for search engine rankings, right? Do you have the main keyword in the title tag of every page on your website? This is kind of technical SEO babble, but it's very, very important that you do that. And if you don't know how to do that, consider looking that up or talking with a professional that knows how to make sure that your web is, technically set up for ranking in Google. Do you have pages for each of your core services? Okay, if you've got 7 different services, you need a page for every single one of those. Okay, if you're a kitchen remodeler, bath remodeler, whole house remodeler, if you do appliance installations, if you also do roofing, that's 5 different services. You need 5 different pages. Okay, I'm talking about a high quality page, potentially of 3,000 to 4,000 words of content with, again, original photos in that, because we ultimately don't try to rank a website. We try to rank a web page. And so it would be like yoursite.com/kitchen remodeling. That's actually the page that we want to rank for you locally in your service area. So when people look up kitchen remodeling, they find that page. It's going to lead back to the homepage of your site. But this is how that works. Do you have pages for each of the sub-cities that you serve? Okay, so you probably serve one main city. We are here in Denver, but it's if you're a plumber in Denver or if you're a remodeler in Denver, you're going to want to have a page for Denver. You're going to want to have a page for Aurora, um, for Lakewood, for Brightwood, for all of the different suburban areas around here that you may work. Okay, so that's a unique page for each of those individual areas. This is how it works. This is how this is done, guys. Let's see. Do you have pages for the brands that you service or install? So this is very helpful as well. If you've got unique brands that you work with, if you're a roofing company, you work with, certain types of roofing. If you are, work with certain suppliers, then you want pages for those also. Do you have unique content on every page of your website? So when we talk about building unique pages, we're not talking about copy and pasting any of the copy, including if we were talking about subcities, right? So I talked about if you're in Denver, you want a page for Brightwood, for Lakewood. Each of those need different content. Okay, we don't want them all to have the same kind of copied and pasted content. They need unique content on each of those pages. And then does your website come up for the most important keywords, right? So like your city remodeler, your city kitchen remodeler. So Atlanta kitchen remodeler. If you go type that into Google right now, does your page come up on the first page? Does it come up in maps? That those 3 positions in maps, we call that the map pack. We definitely want that. Those are going to be your highest quality leads. And so if you're not coming up in those, there's a reason why. It definitely can be done. It's not magic that other companies are in there. And we need to do the best practices and we can get you up there as well. Is your company optimized to rank on Google Maps? And so have you claimed and verified your Google My Business listing, right? And do you have that login? So, that Google My Business now, it's actually called Google Business Profile. Again, that's the best place that you're going to be able to, that you're going to definitely want to rank. And well, I was thinking about opening up my computer and showed it to you. You know what I'm talking about, right? Of course. It's where the maps are. It's where you look for local businesses. Okay, you need to be in those top 3 positions when someone looks for you, and it's possible. That's where they are definitely looking, and they may not even go to your website if they see your company there. I mean, don't you go call companies directly out of Google Business Profile there? I mean, they've got the click to call. You can call them. You can look at their reviews. You can look at photos of the company. That's going to be the best place for you as a local remodeler to rank. Have you properly optimized your Google Business Profile listing? Okay, there's all kinds of sections in there. There are, updates, photos, videos, your hours. Um, there are other social profiles, kind of links in there. Do you have all those filled out? You want to fill out all of those. And ideally, you would post once a week in your Google Business Profile. You're also going to solicit reviews as often as possible, right? Any job that you complete, you want to send that person a request for a review. And if you do get a review, you're going to want to reply to that as quickly as possible. Let's see, are you on all of the major online directory listings with the same company name? So these are called citations, name, address, phone number. We'll call it NAP, N-A-P, name, address, phone number. Name, address, phone number is very important. So Google really wants you to have very consistent information around the web. They want for your phone number to be spelled exactly the same. I mean, you think, well, it is spelled the same. No, not exactly. Sometimes it's got dashes in it. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's got parentheses around the area code. Sometimes it doesn't. We want to make sure that is all listed the exact same every single time. And then how many online reviews do you have, right? Do you have reviews? Are they building, right? Do you have a process for building your reviews? I mean, you see some of your competitors have got 200-300 reviews. How many do you have? Go look on your page and determine that. And if you are lacking, then that's going to be pushing you down and you want to get those up, right? So we've got a process of how we do that. But you can also just get the link directly to Google Business Profile and text it to recent or past customers. And that's going to be super helpful to to boost those reviews. We want to keep those reviews coming in more or less continuously, week in, week out. And are you posting to Google Business Profile weekly and responding to questions? Okay, we already talked about this. If anybody asks you a question in Google, you need to have someone on your team respond to that as absolutely quickly as possible. Because if they don't, Google's actually going to penalize you for that. The response time, how quickly you get back to people, is a ranking factor, right? Google wants to serve up the best results for their customers, which are searchers. The service is free, right? Google. And so we want to make sure that we are satisfying Google's needs. And what is going to do that the best is for you to respond really quickly to any reviews or any questions that come through your Google Business Profile, kind of like more or less instantly. Okay, scrolling down. So page 2 of the Ultimate Internet Marketing Checklist for bathroom kitchen remodelers here. And as I say, please go download this on our site. Our site is rocketscience.com. You can scroll down to the very bottom to the footer and see the resources there, and click into the resources, and you will get a free copy of this checklist that I'm going over right now. So are you taking advantage of paid online marketing? Are you running Google local service ads with a maxed out budget? So those local service ads, those are going to be some of your very best converting, very best traffic, right? This is where you sign up with Google. They kind of guarantee your services, and it's just a great endorsement from Google. To do that, you're going to have to submit some information to Google. You're going to have to send over to them an insurance statement, potentially your, some licensing docs for your business. You want to do that because these local service ads are some of the very, very best that we've seen. We call them LSA, local service ads. And, a lot of people are going to click on those before they go further down. You're going to have to pay for those, of course, as you're running those ads, but you want to have a maxed out budget on those. And then are you running retargeting ads to your unconverted leads? So most of the people that come to your site, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to call you. Most of the folks that look you up are not going to call you. Even if some people, when people visit the site, bounce rate typically is going to be, way over 90%. It could be 96%. Okay, what about the 96% that didn't do anything? Well, we want to pixel those people, place a little pixel on them, and then follow them around the web with ads, or follow them around the web with videos. And if you do that, you're going to find that folks, you're kind of pinging them again while they're still in that buying window, right? Folks kind of come up for air, right? For a short period of time. They're busy with their life. We're busy with our lives, but it's hard to understand how busy other people are with their lives. And they, in many cases, they'll go to your website. They wouldn't even remember having done that, right? But then you start sending them banner ads or little square ads around the web, and they're going to remember, and they're going to say, that's right. I went over and took a look at that site. I'm looking for a quote, and they're going to get in touch. They're going to go back over to your site and get in touch. Are you running Google Ads? So Google Ads is the premier advertising platform for remodelers. You definitely want to be running Google Ads, not so much Facebook ads. Okay, there's a place for that, but it's really when you get up really north of 8 figures, when you're doing over $10 million a year. Until then, you really want to have high intent based marketing or intent-based traffic happening. And that's the where that lives is Google Ads or YouTube. YouTube is fantastic, and it's actually some of the lowest cost traffic that we see, and some of the best converting. So Google Ads, that would get included with, YouTube would get included with that as well. Are you strategically targeting with specific ad groups, text ads, and landing pages? Okay, we tend to think that when we go advertise on Google, Google has got a very dumbed down, kind of version of its ad platform where they just want you to kind of put all of the trust in them, right? It's where you're not running ads manually, where you're not making, educated guesses, or as a professional making, professional level Google Ads decisions. And in that, they're going to figure out the sort of ad groups, the text ads. They're going to write all that text ad copy for you. That is not going to be your best place to advertise in Google Ads. It's really helpful to have someone who knows what they're doing and go in there and really kind of do the A/B split testing, right? We're going to split test two different headlines together. We're going to take the winner. We're going to split test. We're going to test that against another idea. We're going to take the winner of those, and the account just gets better and better over time. The other problem with Google's sort of done for you product is that it's very opaque and there's very little information in there of how you can that you can glean of what's actually working. Okay, it's not going to give you all of that information. So we want to have specific, targeted ad groups, targeted text ad, targeted landing pages. These are unique pages that we build on your site just for when someone clicks on that ad, they're going to go to that unique landing page. And it's going to be unique because it's not going to be just kind of a catch-all remodeling page. It's going to be about kitchen remodeling, or maybe it's going to be about bathroom remodeling in Brighton, right? So there you've got the kind of specific niche and the specific suburb. And when someone in Brighton or someone typed in, bathroom remodeling Brighton, and they go to a landing page that says, are you interested in bathroom remodeling in Brighton? It's very, very specific. And that is really going to speak to them. It's going to look really professional. It's going to be high converting. We want to do that. Do you have conversion tracking in place to track leads back to the ad group and to the keyword? Okay, part of, again, what's amazing about current ad platforms is that you can track everything meticulously. And you can see that even though I thought that people were going to be interested in this, they're actually interested in that. And so we can leverage that. Okay, this can avoid huge business mistakes, very costly mistakes down the road. And are you running targeted Facebook ads to your ideal prospect base? Again, that's going to really be kind of over 8 figures, over $10 million when you're going to want to worry about that. Do you have a premium ad on Angie's List or Yelp, City Search, or Yellow Pages? Way back in the day, I was helping a company do their online marketing and helping them build a website and helping them with Angie's List. And Angie's List over the years built the whole company, built them up to just a ton of revenue over the years, just by kind of dominating Angie's List. Angie's List is great. People go over there for reviews. People go to Yelp for reviews. You can advertise there. And I would suggest that you recommend that you consider doing that. And are you buying paper lead services, right? So like Home Advisor, Thumbtack. The problem with those platforms is that they're very competitive. And Home Advisor, they sell leads, as you know, to 5 or even 10 companies. It's part of their SLA, right? Their service level agreement is to that they can do that, and so they can sell you, a kitchen remodeling lead for $55, which is pretty low cost, because they're also selling it to 10 other people. And so that competition is fierce. And so, I don't really recommend this until you have your everything just completely dialed in, your website, your kind of lead follow-up, and other forms of traffic. But if you have those things handled, then buying leads at Home Advisor or Thumbtack may be a great idea. And then, are you active on social media? Do you have your business profile set up on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram? If you only are going to choose 2, it really should be LinkedIn and Facebook, probably, maybe LinkedIn and YouTube. We don't deal much with Twitter or Instagram. We don't deal much with Facebook. YouTube and LinkedIn are amazing. YouTube has got some of the lowest cost traffic, but really we're talking about just kind of active over there. Are you active outside of the ad network? And so great to go over and set your business profiles up over in those places and have, posting happening on a weekly basis. You can schedule posts in the future if you don't have, kind of the bandwidth to go over there and to post those ads weekly. And you probably don't, and neither does anybody else on your team. So it's helpful to go on to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and schedule posts out into the future. And you can actually schedule kind of 3 months worth of posts in just a few hours. Are you getting engagement on Facebook? So are there people liking your stuff, sharing it, commenting? Okay. Um, if not, you may want to start posting more. And are you updating your social profiles on a consistent basis? We already kind of talked about that. And then are you leveraging email and marketing automation? So are you following up with leads within 5 minutes or less via phone, text, or email? There's been a lot of studies around this. After a lead hasn't been responded to for 15 minutes, it's gone cold. And they've gone down the list, they've called other people, they've got other quotes, and you've missed that opportunity to get in there kind of like first. And getting in there first is key. Okay. Not having competition, right? You may be in an industry that is always, just done by bids or quotes. You may be an industry that is, or your main business may be only just from referral, and you may never have to deal with competition. A lot of us are somewhere in between. We want to make sure that we're following up with those leads so we can stop the um, buyer or your prospect from continuing to shop for other companies to deal with. And then do you have conversion campaigns in place that follow up with unconverted leads 5 to 7 times via phone, SMS, email until they book their service call or estimate? This is going to be huge. Okay. Unless it's a really hot referral, most leads are not going to convert in like less than 5 to 7 touches to them. However, most salespeople, most even great salespeople, they stop following up after 2 or 3 attempts. You need to keep following up, right? I mean, those folks, they may have been interested here a few days ago. You get back to them. Their life has changed a little bit. They're not exactly in the buying window anymore. Well, they may pop right back into that, and you may be the first person they call if you've been, emailing them and texting them. I mean, let me ask you this: how many people follow up with you about anything? Okay, I mean, you call, you want to, I don't know, buy a new car. I mean, actually, car salesmen are pretty good about following up on things. But you want to work with a realtor, and you are thinking about buying a $600,000 house, and you call that realtor and have a short conversation. How many times that realtor follow up to actually get your business if you don't hire them on the spot? Okay, this is a similar size purchase. Someone is paying you $500,000, maybe $1 million to do a huge addition on their house. Okay, they want you to follow up. Okay, they feel like they're in the power position. They've got the money. They do. They are right there, the customer. You need to follow up with them, and if you don't have that set up, then the first thing to do is to set up some automations. We have automations here with our clients that follow up with leads within a few minutes, and then continue to contact them. Say, hey Bob, haven't heard back. Hey Bob, everything going okay? Hey Bob, we'd still love to get into your home and do that remodeling estimate. Okay, this is going to make all of the difference. They may ghost you for weeks, and then they'll just pop right in. And oftentimes they're going to say, thank you for following up. I'm sorry I didn't get in touch with you. Whatever, life happened and I got too busy. Do you have a database with your customers' email addresses? We do reactivation campaigns here where we reactivate your past database. And when we do that, we get in touch with those customers. I mean, we run an offer, by use. We suggest an offer that you run. But if you are a, kitchen remodeler, maybe you offer, to, I don't know, to get their house cleaned once the whole house cleaned once the project is finished, right? Because you've got drywall dust all over the place, right? And you just kind of leave it up to them. Well, um, a when you have a database of your existing customers, you can send out offers to them, and you can kind of circle them back around to get back into your world and to have you come quote other projects, right? So we will often send a email that kind of goes out monthly or maybe quarterly to your database, and it's going to ask them 3 questions. It's going to say, number one, would you like to do business together again? We're of course going to do this respectfully, with better worded questions. Number two is, would you be willing to refer us to any of your friends? Right, we grow by referral, and we would love to have you tell some other your friends that maybe, in the market for a remodel, about the quality of work that we did, and would you be willing to refer us? The third thing is, would you be willing to write us a review? So, can we work together again? Can we get a referral? Can we get a review? It's absolutely huge. And this is how a lot of these companies are building their reviews so quickly, is because they're sending out these monthly or quarterly emails back to their old database. You can say, hey, Bob, I saw that we gave you 5-star service here 4 months ago, but we never got a 5-star review. Would you be willing to go over to Google and give us a review? Here's the link directly to it. They can click it on their phone, and your reviews are going to be building and building and building. We want that. Are you sending out a monthly email newsletter? Now, some clients that we have do this. It's actually relatively uncommon, but it's fantastic. Okay. And for huge bonus points is to send it in print. Okay. Not just via email. When folks get something in the mail, they find it really, really valuable. But either way, to just send out a monthly newsletter and say, hey, this is what we're up to. This is who we have been working with. These are the kinds of projects we've done. We built a house over here. We did a remodel over there. Here's some jokes, right? People have little joke sections, kind of fun sometimes. Consider creating a newsletter that's going to get written by someone, almost certainly not on your team, that's going to go out every month to your database and or kind of existing customers and future customers. You're leveraging email to get online reviews and draw customers into your social media profiles. We already talked about this. Sending out an email every month or an SMS message is going to be huge. Next, do you have the tracking in place to gauge your ROI? This is a game changer, guys. If you don't have tracking in place, if you don't know if the tracking in place, if you don't go look at it, then it's not in place. And I can tell you, it's really, really important that you get that in place. So we want to make sure that we have Google Analytics on your website and that you're looking at that on a regular basis. We want to make sure that we have keyword ranking tracking. Okay, so we were talking about, bathroom remodel Brighton, kitchen remodel Brighton. Brighton is a suburb over here of Denver. We're talking about, the other suburbs. Are you tracking the keyword ranking of those terms? Really important that you do that. And then call tracking. We will set up a phone number on your website that is a tracking number. And when people call that, it's going to port directly through to the number that you want, whether it be your cell phone or, the office phone or whatever. But when that happens, we get it pings the fact that someone called, and we can track those calls. And because most contractors, to this day, calls is the thing that they want the most. It's the thing that's going to, move the needle the most for them is calls. We want to know how many calls you get. It's not just, we got a bunch of calls last month. It's, well, specifically, how many do we get and what do we pay for those? Because whether it's SEO, writing a newsletter, doing pay-per-click campaigns, you are paying for those calls. Okay. You pay for every prospect. You pay for every customer, even if it is a referral. Okay. You're paying for them. It's helpful to internalize that. The question is just really, what does it cost to get that phone call and that customer? We want to do that for the lowest cost possible. And then we want a dashboard showing cost per lead, total spend, and projected ROI. Now, I've shown that in some other kind of videos, but we want to track that all in a dashboard so that you can see it, so that we can see it. Okay, this is how we're doing reporting every month. You need to have a dashboard set up that is going to show cost per lead, total spend, and projected ROI. And the way that looks is, if you spend a few $1,000s for management, if you spend, $5,000 for a PPC budget, say it's $8,000 total, and you got, 160 leads that month, and then that leads were $50 per lead. And that metric is very important to know kind of where things stand, know if things are changing. We want to know exactly what those numbers are. And so we'll track that into a dashboard. And then we want you to use a CRM or a customer relationship management or customer response management system to track leads to the source and to revenue. And so Service Titan is a contractor sort of software. You may or may not use that. In our CRM, we can actually put those prospects, clients, past customers over in that location, and we can track the cost of the lead of that specific client. So we can see what they clicked on Google, um, and we can see exactly what the kind of ad spend was to get that customer, and that all gets tracked and kind of stored in your CRM. So, quite a lot that I've kind of discussed here. Don't mean to just kind of, do a big data dump on this whole thing. I mean, there's really a lot to this, and I've really only kind of scratched the surface. We've kind of putting out more content like this on our webinar and on our podcasts, and hopefully this is helpful. If you want to grow your remodeling business, if you want to be in that top 10% of companies that understand what is going to be needed to grow, and understand that really these days, digital marketing is what's up. I mean, it's what's going to, it's where everybody is looking. Okay. I don't even remember the last time I got a copy of the Yellow Pages. I'm sure it's still out there, and I'm sure people are still paying a lot of money to advertise over there because it's worked for them, but I can tell you that those same people, those same companies, digital marketing is going to work a lot better, because that is where a lot of your prospects and buyers are. That's where a lot of younger prospects are, certainly. So if you don't have this handled, I would love to chat with you about it. We would love to jump on a call. And the way to do that is to come over here to our website, which again is rocketscience.com. You can click right here on this schedule strategy session, and it's going to lead you to the calendar and going to allow you to book a strategy session with us, where we will do a deep dive on your website, your SEO, your online rankings, your pay-per-click ads. We don't really need anything from you to do that. So that's kind of helpful. We don't need access to your website or your Google Analytics. It's helpful to get those things, to do those reports and make them more thorough, but they're definitely not required. And most of the time we don't get those. Okay, so head on over to rocketscience.com/schedule. It's ROKKET, 2 Ks, no C, rocketscience.com/schedule. And once you get a free opinion from us about where things stand, if there's no way that we can help, I'll be the first to tell you that. You see me on the podcast really, loving folks' websites, and some of them do it very, very well, and those are folks that are clearly going places. If that's you, I just love to shake your hand and say, great job. We'd love to hear from you. I'm available to take your call anytime during normal business hours. We will actually answer the phone. So head on over to rocketscience.com/schedule, and let's put something together and see if we can give you some great ideas about how to grow your remodeling business. So thank you for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon.